My name is Andrea Plawutsky. I'm the owner and founder of Amplify Me. Amplify Me specializes in helping Australian businesses work in the Chinese tourism space. When I first started the planning for setting up my own business, I was daunted. I felt very nervous, a little bit excited, relieved that I was leaving my previous employer. I was at the stage, I think you know when you've stayed somewhere too long and you need a change. So I was relieved about the change. I knew what I didn't know, or some of what I didn't know. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I realized along the way very quickly I needed help from other people. So we have a very good accountant that we brought in, and people like that to support me to help build the business. I had a very good peer network of women in my women's networking group who helped teach me things that I didn't know or opened my eyes. So I was like a sponge at the time. So while I was nervous, it was actually a nice change. Well, when you start your own business, you're really a Jack or Jill of all trades. You have to be the accountant, you have to be the salesperson, you have to be the marketing person. I found particularly the financial side was not an area I had ever done before. So setting up the registrations, setting up all the bank accounts and the appropriate invoicing, and setting up the online, we use Xero now, all that side of the business was not something I had done before. Having the confidence to also build proposals and quotations for clients and setting a pricing model. Again, when you're a practitioner of a certain area, you have an expertise. Does not mean you know all the other sides to the business. So some was from professionals like the accountant, but some was also from other people in business, learning how did they price their product, for example, how did they price themselves on an hourly basis or a project basis so that they could quote to a potential client and win the business. So as the business grows, you bring in more and more professionals to do all of those. In the first 2 years, I would work on any project. Now I actually have clients, I say, I actually don't think I offer what you would like. Why don't you work with this person? So when I do take a client, it's actually a client that I know I can deliver really well to. And I know that with the team that I work with, we can actually provide what they're looking for. And if it's not, I'm not the right person, I'm very happy to refer it to somebody else who is, because I also know referrals go both ways. I do think sometimes the toughest judges of other women business owners can be other women. So sometimes we actually have to remind ourselves to be more supportive of each other in our own businesses as women. We can be our own worst enemies. There are individual women sometimes who feel competitive and threatened by other successful women rather than supportive of other successful women. I feel like we've been able to give our children the time that they needed with the flexibility. So if I wanted to be home at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday morning to do something with my son, I had that ability to do it. I think there was a little bit more of the freedom, but I think more importantly, I also allowed myself to grow and learn a lot more, because every time I did a new project, I was bringing in new skills. And it can be lonely as a journey sometimes, because you are being everything initially. But I also think you learn what you're good at, what you're not good at. You learn to problem solve. You learn so many other skills. Yeah.